Hello everybody out there, I'm Chris and I'm one of the writers here on Ember Press, and I'm here to give you guys a little bit of info on myself and a little bit of my background in writing. Since I was about 12 years old, I've been a huge fan, reader, and collector of comic books, and that's been a cornerstone not only of my childhood but all the way to current day, where today I actually do run a comic website, comicfrontline.com, and that's where me and a bunch of my really good friends get together and we discuss, review, talk about comic books, movies, TVs, video games, you name it. And but my real passion came from writing, and I started writing back in high school, where I realized I enjoyed telling a good story. I used to sit around with my friends, and some of my friends actually were into anime at the time, and they liked to talk about anime, and they liked to make up their own types of anime. And I realized through that I really enjoyed having a good story to tell. And actually, my writing goes way back to when I was in second grade, where I had a writing assignment for English, and we had to write our own short story. And it was back then where I realized I really enjoyed creating. We had to create our own story, so I created my own superhero, and I told a little story about him. And then back then, though, when you're younger, you know, you do something and you give it up. But it was I remember having so much fun writing that book, and I still have that book somewhere to this day. Maybe one day I'll find it and I'll show it off somewhere. But fast forward to high school, that's where I believe my writing really started. Now, we're in September of 2001. September 11th just happened, and a lot of really sad and dark times hit. And I live with my family in New York, so we were definitely taken back by the events of 9/11. And I think that was where the beginning of my writing actually started, because I was inspired to promote hope, because everybody was so sad. We needed it. And I remember seeing people talking about it on the internet and in the news, that, you know, this moment in time is where we need to come together. And I guess that's where no pun intended here, that's where the flame ignited my drive to write. And I sat down one day, it was in October of 2001, and with a friend of mine, I actually sat down and we were talking about wanting to do something more. And that's when I actually came home. I sat down and said, you know, I love telling a good story. And honestly, that was the birth of my character, Celestial Falcon, which is the comic book that I'll be releasing during Wave 2 from Ember Press. And from 2001 all the way through to about a couple of years ago, I wrote many stories with Celestial Falcon, and I actually got reached out into other genres to test and see what I enjoyed writing and what I didn't enjoy writing. And to be honest, I enjoy writing basically anything. I've written a bunch of short stories, not only for high school, but I've taken some courses in college where I had to do some creative writing. But the story that I hold closest to my heart is the story I created in 2001. However, we are now in 2015, so obviously I'm modernizing that story, and I'm kind of revamping it and tweaking it a little bit to be a little bit more up to date with things, since it's been about a good, 14 years since I created it. But that was my baby, and from there, my writing just exploded into a really huge part of my life. And then myself and my brother opened up our own YouTube channel, and on there we actually performed skits, which I had outlined, and then we actually acted out. I also wrote a series called Epic Story, which is available on YouTube on Brooklyn Boys 13. That series, I wrote the script, I wrote the episodes, I wrote practically everything. My brother did take over a couple of episodes, but for the most part, I wrote the series. I wrote season by season what was going to go on, and also it is based off of characters from my original story that I wrote back in 2001. So now we're in 2015. I want to take that story, and for the first time in 14 years, I want to share it with the world instead of with my friends and family here. I want everybody to enjoy it, and everybody who I did share this story with before enjoyed it, gave me pointers on it, really came away with it. And through my writing, I like to inspire and I like to promote a lot. That's what we did on Brooklyn Boys through our skits and our series that we went through and recorded. And that's what I want to do in my comics and in my work. As a writer, I want to, when I'm writing something that's supposed to be inspirational, I want to inspire you guys. If I'm writing something horror, I want you guys to feel the horror. I like to take my work and really I take it into myself and really give 110%. And that's just, it's one of those things where even when I'm not writing, I don't realize it, but I'm actually outlining a good idea. Like when it came to Brooklyn Boys, most of the skits were just outlines I came up with in my head, and then I would share it with my brother and we would do it. Writing, as I said, has always been my passion. Unfortunately, drawing hasn't. I could draw a pretty mean stick figure, but that's about it. But I love writing, and I hope through my work here you guys really enjoy the stories and the series that I put out here on Ember Press. And I hope to hear from you guys, and I hope to, like I said, I just hope you guys enjoy it. That's the main important thing through my work, for somebody out there to get something from it. If it touches one person, then I've done my job, in my opinion. But for real, I want it to touch a lot of people, and I want a lot of people to come away from it and enjoy it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy my work. As always, if you'd like to contact me, you could always reach out to Ember Press and they'll contact me. But really, that's it for now, guys. So stay tuned. We got a lot of awesome things. There are a lot of awesome things going on at Last Ember Press right now, and you guys are going to be blown away with Wave 1 of the books. And Wave 2, don't worry, you guys are going to enjoy the stuff I put out as well. So until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys really soon in the books.